Welcome to this week's Sort of Insight. During this week's show, we're going to cover three topics. The first one's going to be EU military aid to Armenia. Then we're going to go out and study the latest economic growth numbers. And then we're going to close with the recent arrest of Baku lobbyist Andrew Windsor, the former Prince Andrew, on his connections to child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. The EU Council adopted an assistance measure worth 20 million euros under the European Peace Facility. The objective of the assistance measure is to enhance the logistical capacities of the armed forces of the Republic of Armenia. It would also enhance the resilience of Armenia and accelerate the interoperability of its armed forces. The actual amount of this aid has actually doubled from the previous year. It's actually expected to grow every year moving forward. Every single year, this gets blocked and held up by one country, which is Viktor Orban's Hungary, because he has a very special relationship with the Azeri regime. We can imagine what that is. This actually started with the case of the murderer Ramil Safarov, who killed the Armenian lieutenant in Budapest many years ago when they released him, most likely for some kind of a bribe. There's a reasonable chance that during this April's election, Viktor Orban will no longer be the Prime Minister of Hungary. And after that, I think this process gets a lot easier. And what we can look forward to is far greater aid as far as these numbers growing into the future. These numbers are actually, what's relevant here is not what these numbers are now, is what these numbers could be 5 years from now or 10 years from now. And no matter what they say, this is about peace, it's actually not. It's actually to increase your defensive military capacities. What matters, again, is to keep working at this and having this grow over many upcoming years. Our ambassador in the EU, Tigran Balayan, has actually done fantastic work in making this happen. We recently received the end-of-year growth numbers for 2025, and the economy grew at a strong clip of 7.2% for the year, which moved our yearly GDP above the $30 billion mark. Per capita income in Armenia has reached $9,474, and according to Standards & Poor's, by 2027, it could reach $11,500. Now let me explain why this $10,000 number is important, us being below it and above it. That's actually average world income, obviously, throughout the entirety of the world. Once you pass 10,000, it means you're actually going from bottom 50% of economic, essentially income earners in the world to the top 50%, and essentially puts you in the, deep into the middle income range. Going over the growth numbers in our neighboring countries, the growth in Georgia was actually stronger than ours at 7.5%. The growth in Azerbaijan was 1.4%. This puts the Georgia per capita income already above 10,000. It's about 10,100. In Azerbaijan, despite the fact that the country, frankly, should be far richer than all of its neighbors, per capita income is in the $7,300 range. If we move forward forecasting in normal economic circumstances, what this means is that over the next, from about 27 to 35, we should get to that 13 to 15,000, if not more, per capita income, which actually puts us at the lower end of EU countries. But these numbers are simply not just about economics. They actually have distinct political and geopolitical implications. It is over time, as the disparity between Armenia and Georgia and Azerbaijan grows, explaining that to the population in Azerbaijan is going to become more and more difficult. Despite the current rise in oil prices, Azeri oil production is going down by 10% a year, and according to their own government, they're essentially out of the oil business as primary exporters after 2035. The World Bank estimates them to have a per capita income of around 6,500 in the year 2050, so you can see this disparity. This will create political problems because Aliyev has to explain to his population why this disparity exists when their country has such greater resources. And if you really want to understand what Aliyev will never sign a peace treaty, and even if he signs a peace treaty, he will never live with that, is because in a situation like that, when you do not have the capacity to actually raise your country's income level or actually make it a functional country, aggressive enemies or having aggression abroad is one way of dealing with that political problem. We will close with the recent arrest of Andrew Windsor, the former Prince Andrew, for his possible relationship with child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Now you might ask, what does this have to do with us? It actually has a very distinct local angle, because for many years, Prince Andrew was actually working, likely as a lobbyist for the Azeri regime to put forward their interests in the UK and other places. When he actually had a role as the UK Special Representative for International Trade and Investment, this actually became quite a scandal in British media. It's covered extensively 10 or 15 years ago. What can we say about this except to note that it should be a surprise to no one that someone who's caught up in an evil scheme like this would actually be working for a regime of rapists and murderers. Thank you for joining me in this week's episode of Insights.
You're my prison bitch. You're not like other men. I'm glad we share a prison cell when lights go out at 10. I can't escape the way I feel, now that would be a crime. As long as I am doing you, I don't mind doing time. 'Cause you're my prison bitch, and I have no regrets. I got you for a candy bar and a pack of cigarettes. At first you were resistant, but now you are my friend. I knew that I would get you in the end. Prison bitch. I guess that you were sent from up above.